One of the key decisions I think that you made early on when you formed this, and you talked to me about it, was having a 501c3, the nonprofit side, and then having the LLC. How important has that been in terms of what you guys have done?
I think it's been very instrumental in keeping us clean from the IRS. For example, I see other collectives out there that are just paying people, paying student athletes exorbitant amounts of money through a 501c3, and they're really not doing anything for it. Yeah. And those are the collectives I think are going to get in trouble. Our student athletes through our collective, the 501c3, they've got to hang out at the elementary schools and put together literacy kits and read stories to the kids and do fun things with them, or deliver Meals on Wheels, or do Big Brothers Big Sisters. They're actually out in the community earning the money that we're handing them through the 501c3. And then the other entity is more for corporations, and that's where some of your more successful or popular student athletes can really generate quite a substantial amount of income marketing for these corporations. And so having these two separate entities, which makes us unique relative to other collectives across the country, I think it's really been beneficial, and it's going to serve us well as we move forward.
I think one of the challenges that you have had the task of educating the public about is, what is NIL? What is this process? And that's one of the hurdles that you've had to overcome. How big of a hurdle has that been, and how have you tended to overcome it?
It's been bigger than I thought. Yeah. I had visions of grandeur. I thought that last July when we said hello world, and we had a big press conference at the top of the Courtyard by Marriott, we had the coaches that were there. I thought we were going to have 5,000 members, almost overnight. I was clearly naive, and I grew up in the Kansas City area, which is the Show Me State in Missouri, and I think there's some Iowans out there that want to see they want to be showed some results before they jump on board, and so it's been difficult to try to educate and get people to understand what we're doing, how we're maybe different than some of the other collectives out there. We're going to probably need 10,000 members at some point in order to stay competitive, and probably about $10 million on an annual basis. And so we've got a long ways to go, both from an education standpoint, from a fundraising standpoint, and hopefully with some of these other side ventures that we're embarking on that'll help us get there.
You mentioned the coaches being supportive, and they were there at the beginning. All the coaches were there. The reception has been very positive from all the head coaches.
For sure. And our coaches, I haven't added up the number of years of service, the number of years that each coach has been at the university, but it's probably, if you're taking the combined years of tenure for our coaching staffs for men's basketball, women's basketball, and football, we'd probably be in the top 5 across the country, I would have to guess. And so I think that the general feeling out there is that, our coaches may not be pro NIL or in favor of this, and I found that to be the exact opposite. They've been extremely appreciative. They've been helpful. I talk to them fairly frequently. So it's a collaborative mission, and I couldn't be happier with the relationships that we have with coaches.